Good evening, STS World. Welcome to episode 40 of All Four Back podcast. Again, as always this week, I am joined by Shads.
Good evening, fellas. Good evening, Heppel.
And our guest presenter again for this week is Mr. Tank himself.
Good evening.
And on this week's show, we have a little bit of a busy one. This week, we have the league reviews from week 18, followed by the league table, and Shads' rider of the week. A little break, and then the SCS wildcard, the GP and SCS draws, and then the previews for week 19. So we'll start off this week with our first match, which took place on Tuesday.
I'll be back in a few minutes.
I took back on Tuesday as the Plymouth Panthers took on the Poole Cowboys, and it was the Cowboys who came away with a 12-point victory. Obviously, we know Shads was involved in this meeting. Also, we have a couple of people, shall we say, in chat who was also involved in the meeting as well. Heat number 1 there started with Stefan getting the track record in the first race on his way to a 15-point maximum. 2 Warriors riders here guesting for Cowboys in this one, in the Smiler and Heppel, in place of 101 and Rico, and they scored 18 points between them. But Shads, you were involved in this one, mate. What was your take on the Panthers Cowboys?
I'm still limping after that Heat 10. Picking the splinters out of my arse. But it was pretty much as I expected. I thought we'd get beat, but I didn't think we'd get beat by 12. But I think only Limo can really walk away with any credit from that. But Skyrider as well. It wasn't a great night, and ended up with that what everyone wants to talk about, seemingly Heat 10, where I was brutally fenced by Lango, which is my own fault because I was leading it from the start to the last bend, and I stupidly went too wide, allowing those two who shall remain nameless. I think I've had enough mentions tonight to take advantage of an old man and shove me in the fence. Hey ho, what comes around goes round. I did the same to Stefan in the pairs. I put him in the graph. So if you, like I said to you earlier, if you can't take it, you shouldn't dish it out.
That is very true. As you can see there, Bobby saying in the chat that it could get changed to a 40 to 50. I mean, that's not going to make obviously too much difference to anything really, because of the 1 lead, I believe.
They get the 4 points, don't they?
Yeah, it would still be 4 points. But as he's in the chat, and as he was guesting for the Cowboys, Mr. Heppel, would you like to come and say a few words on your Heat number 10?
Shad, how you doing, mate?
How are you?
I'm not bad, mate. I'm not bad.
It's nice of you to turn up for once. You haven't really turned up for your team this season, have you? Really?
Well, I'll be honest. And
nice of you to actually show. Nice of you to show what you can actually do on a track. It's just a shame you don't actually do that for your own team. But hey ho,
it's
another wooden spoon, so you can add that to your collection.
Hang on, let me just taste the salt. Oh god. No.
Yeah. Any danger of you turning up for the next round of the FCS, or are you just going to let everyone hang and have another ride? Or
I'll put my hands up. That was an apology on my part. That was a genuine apology on my part. And I'd messaged Haddleton, and he'll tell you, I did message Haddleton and I apologised about the 2 mishaps because I did not I completely forgot about them that week.
Have
So
have you apologised to your team for not turning up this season?
well, this is what happens when you don't train, mate. That's the problem. And that's the honest truth. We haven't had a server. We haven't had servers to train in. With the Cowboys, I was in there and I trained what? I trained one day beforehand. I trained but during the meeting and also before the meeting as well. So having that extra time on track, learning the line and actually finding the quickest way around there really did help. You know, as you see it in Heat 9 when I beat Limo from the gate. You know what I mean? I am a better rider than a 4-point rider. We know this. The whole STS world knows this. If I stay where I'm at next year, I'm hot property. Simple facts. You know what I mean? But I don't want to stay where I am because I've got pride. You know what I mean? I hate the fact I've been doing terrible this season, but it's just one of those. You've got to kind of roll with the punches, right? And we all have bad seasons. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Are we finally putting to bed this nonsense that we don't ever have you on the podcast now? Are you going to finally shut up about it?
Yeah, buddy, that's fine. You know me, man.
There's a space opening in a couple of weeks. I'm away on that Friday night, so we might need a co-host if you're available.
Yeah, get in touch. Let me know what's the crack. I'll jump on. But you know me, man. I'll have a good time and a bit of banter. Right? That's all it's about. And,
yes, well, this is what we do this for. We don't do this for our own. We do this for everyone. You know, you can't take it too seriously. It's just a game at the end of the day, and we all have a laugh about it. I mean, the most boring servers are the ones where there's no one talking. You know, I mean, were you in the reserve pairs?
I was meant to be in the reserve pairs.
Yeah, no, because I mean, we were talking about it after, and said the banter in that was brilliant.
Yeah,
everyone wasn't it, Hads? I mean, everyone was enjoying it. There was just people just having a laugh, you know, even after they got beaten. You know, that's how it should be.
One of my most memorable meetings this year, to be honest, where we got beat by Wolves. Me and Wolfie back and forth. Like I'd scraped him across the fence, and then we had a bit of banter all the way through the meeting. You know, and that is literally what STS is about.
Yeah,
having a laugh.
With the Wolves team with Scissor and Wolfie in it. I mean, it's one thing you're not short of, and that is banter.
No, not at all, man. Not at all. Good lads, really good lads.
Yes, and I was only joking when I fell on the deck here.
Mate, I covered the Berwick next season.
You know the first thing we're going to do when we see each other at Berwick next season is have a big hug.
Yeah, that's what usually happens. I'll expect a little dig in the ribs though. It's all love and law, isn't it?
Nah, that's not going to happen. You know that.
Nah, I know that. Me and Shads go back and forth over Messenger and stuff like that. But it's all good when we see each other. It's all love, man. It's all love. I will say that is the most savage.
Make sure you turn up. You turn up for the when the Panthers come to my house. Okay.
I will do. I'll be there.
Okay. Thank you.
I got to give you a chance, right?
Yes, please. We don't want to finish bottom.
No, neither do I. So when you come to our house, just be ready to get beat, yeah.
Good lad.
Right. Well, if you guys want, I'll leave you to the show. But thank you. It's been good crack.
Cheers, Heppel.
Much love, guys.
Love you.
Love you too, brother.
As we move on to the second fixture of the week, and this one, well, don't really want to talk
about that. What happened?
Not too sure what happened there, but
no, I had to go and see to the children. Sorry.
This one, I think that personally for me, obviously, the less said about this one, the better. But Hackney North 61, Newcastle Parliament 29. One-way traffic really, all from the start. Even using wide replacement for Mackinnon, they're the Norse. Using the roads very well, and everyone there with at least a couple of wins and paid victories throughout the meeting. Pyman-wise, obviously, Paris got the 2 race wins. That's all we could take from the match, unfortunately, with 12 points out of the 29 scored, which is, again, not great. So, don't know what else to say, to be honest, because the Norse...
It's tough, isn't it? It's a tough one.
Yeah, it's a tough one to take, obviously. We lost Bewitcher, who was... obviously, I think if he was in the team, he wouldn't have lost by that amount. I think we'd lost, to be honest, but obviously not by 30 plus.
Do you want me to give you a little crumb of comfort?
Go on.
You're not the lowest scoring team to go to Hackney this season.
Oh,
Spartans only got 28.
we'll take that then with the last heat. Paris ruining the maximums in the last meeting that there for Maxed. They only ordered to beat him all night. As you can see, Fakey top scoring 16 plus 1, only got beat once, which was obviously by Paris, and that was heat 6. But all the way through the team, they're just strong and on their home track. I mean, I knew they were good, but obviously I didn't know they was quite that good. So, yeah, I've mentioned him maxed as well. There was obviously the helmet after the meeting, where Maxed is now the new holder after defeating Paris. So hats off to him for taking that. I'm not too sure if, because I know that was only his second home meeting, and it was the first time he'd been beaten at home this season. But I'm not sure if he doesn't void in the next match. I mean, what happens? I mean, I don't think, does he just not get defended? I'm not quite sure what happens. If anybody knows, then please do let us know.
If basically
Spartans,
you have to defend it in one of the so he's got it now, so he'll have to defend it next week or the week after. I think it's in the next 2.
Yeah.
If he doesn't, then it defaults back to the last holder. Off the top of my head, something like that.
Oh, okay. That is something that I didn't know, to be honest. So, apart from that one, it was obviously a tough night. Found myself riding at number 5, which was a bit of a shock, obviously. I think I've only rid there once previously, but it is what it is. You still got a race. They were much better than what we were, and that's the end of it, basically. We weren't good enough. Simple. So, another home victory for the Hackney Norse. As we move on to the final match of the week, which was on Wednesday evening, as the Birmingham Wolves took on the Hyde Spartans. And this one, well, I didn't quite expect this scoreline. Shads, if I can bring you in here, I mean, I didn't expect this. Did you see this scoreline coming?
I think I predicted a narrow Wolves win. They were pretty much well, Cowboys accepted the form team in the league. They were shooting up the table, and they were looking a good bet to finish second. Maybe even overtake the North if the North's form dropped off. But it must have come as a terrible shock to them. None of them hit double figures. Credit to the Spartans, they found some form from somewhere. Looking all through the team, all scored well. Rossi continues to score well. Played 7. Not riding for a while and then coming back. But yeah, everyone contributed. Top 3 all paid for double figures at least. So yeah, credit to the Spartans, but no, not great for the Wolves. I think they're gonna take it out on the next team that travels to Birmingham, which happens to be the Panthers, I'm afraid.
Oh, there we go. Didn't know that one.
Yes, next week or next week actually, week after next.
Yeah, I'm going to say the Spartans top three. Well, I'll say top four as well. Obviously, Cappy being a newcomer this season, he's flying in the SCS series. So strong, but when you got your number 2 as well there, scoring 8+2, and then your number 6 chipping in with a couple of paid wins, it's always going to be difficult to beat a team like that. So, I mean, if we're going to bring Tank in now, Tank, what did you make of this one? Because most of us didn't see this one coming.
Yeah, I kind of expected Spartans to maybe edge it, but because the Wolves had a bit of form of late, I did say last week that as long as Wolves were firing on all cylinders, it would be a close one. Not as close as I probably predicted, and I famously sat on the fence, got a few splinters by saying that. But yeah, I think probably the better team won on the night because they had good, consistent form throughout the meeting. So, and
Yeah,
I'm sure the Wolves will come back, but in the next one, no doubt about that.
yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously we were on the wrong end of a home win, a home defeat by the Wolves not too long back, so we know what they're capable of as well. But the Spartans moving up in the league table, and as we can see now, after this week's action, Paul Cowboys top the table on 23 points and have rid a match less than their nearest challengers, the Norse, who have 20, who are the only team, I add, to score maximum points at home. The Spartan there in third spot with 17, the Wolves on 15, the Pinemen on 10, and then the Panthers on 3, and the Warriors unfortunately still failing to score. But Shad's
I think we're all looking forward to the next sort of league meetings after next week. We'll see North at home to the Cowboys.
Yeah,
Which would be which could be a title decider because you can't see the Cowboys dropping many points. Looking at their fixtures for the rest of the season,
true. That is true.
And if you look at the points difference as well, I know the North of the Cowboys have ridden a meeting less, but I think the North is the points difference is plus 118, and the Cowboys is plus 67. So if it comes to points difference at the end of the season, if both teams finish on the same points, North are just slightly ahead. But they seem to win big when they win. They don't seem to win by small amounts, you know. So, Cowboys haven't really battered anyone really this year. That's 60 points, I don't think. So that's going to be a really, really interesting meeting. North at home, you know what North are like at home, and you can bet the Cowboys are going to practice the hell out of that.
I believe is it the Spartans versus the Cowboys next week? Am I right in saying? That? I think maybe.
No. Is it Spartans Cowboys? No,
it's Spartans against. No, it's Spartans versus North. Yeah. Sorry, it's Spartans versus North, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, I mean, if Spartans beat the North in that one as well, I mean, who knows? The Cows have got home to Wolves, and the Pinemen are at home to the Warriors.
Interesting, and the North have a free week on the last week as well.
Yeah, so it could all be down to the last week, depending on how the meetings before that go. That is your up-to-date league table with the Paul Cowboys top at this moment in time. As we now pass over to Shads for this week's Rider of the Week.
Well, I'm going to upset the Squall and get straight to the point. There was only really two contenders, and that came from the meeting you were in. Had
Alan McNally.
Not this week, but hold that thought. It's either going to be between Fecky and Max. Just dropped a point each, but purely because he won the silver helmet, I'm giving it to Max this week.
So there we go. Congratulations to Max, the new silver helmet holder, and Shadsy's Rider of the Week in episode 40. So we'll just be going for a little 2-minute break. So hold your thoughts, and we will be back with you very shortly. And welcome back to episode 40 of this week's All Four Back podcast, as we move straight on now to the SCS wildcard announcement for round 5, which will be held at Gelsenkirchen, I think I've got that right, in Germany next Sunday. And this round's wildcard will be Mr. Lango from the Cowboys. So congratulations there to Lango on being the wild card for round 5 of the series. As we'll move on to the GP and SCS draws, as we'll find out who will be racing where, as Tank's already underway. And number 1 will be Racer Ryan. So Racer Ryan of the Spartans will take number 1. And number 2 will be Tank himself, so Stephen at number 2. And our third rider for heat number 1 will be Craig of the Warriors. So 2 Warriors in the opening heat.
On a track he made.
On a track that he made. Although I'm not too sure there's been many meetings on this track. Oh, here we go. Number 4,
wow.
Stefan. There you go. I think we'll just leave it there. Opening race.
Lucky Frank.
So Racer Ryan, Stephen, Craig, and Stefan in the first heat. And number 5 will be Scotty B of the Panthers, who finds himself in the top 8 at the moment, and very comfortably.
Very well.
Yeah. And number 6 will be my teammate, Mr. Paris 84. So he will be at number 6. And I don't actually know too much about this track. Number 7. We'll move on. That is just Bobby. Yeah, obviously Paris is not 100% at the moment as well, if he can ride in this meeting. But we will know in due course. So there may be a replacement there.
Wouldn't be a GP without a replacement.
that is correct. But again, look at that for a heat. Scotty B, Paris, Bobby, and Stephen 101. What 2 great heats to start there. And number 9, we will have DL Shaw, captain of the Spartans. Number 10, we go, will be... it's going to be Squall. So Squall, another one of my teammates there at number 10. As we move on to number 11, which will be Toretto, who is now permanently in the series. So we have 2 Spartans and a Pileman in heat number 3. And if this is going to be me, it's going to be the battle of the Pileman v the Spartans. But it's not going to be me. It's going to be JC. Again, look at that for a heat. DL Shaw, Squall, Toretto, and JC. Wow. As we move on to the last 4 names. And the Norse captain, Fakey, will go at number 13. And number 14 will be... It will be me, strangely enough. Mr. Hadlington at number 14, which does mean I'll be in the final race of the evening. And number 15 will be Capesy.
What, in the final?
No, don't be silly.
Are you that confident?
Somebody's got to be, haven't they? And Dreadlock completes the lineup at number 16. But no, I did have a quick look earlier at previous meetings on this track, and the only thing I could find was from Season 5 World Championships, where it was won by ICBINB. As Shad, I asked Shads earlier, it was actually I Can't Believe It's Not Butter. If anybody can remember that. Him.
On and Tank, you said to us there was a meeting, a race in this you were looking at that was really interesting. I presume it's Heat 1.
Yeah, it's definitely Heat 1.
Yeah, you did say earlier. I think that stands out.
Yeah, I'm alright with it.
It does take the stand out a little bit. How are you feeling?
I actually don't mind, and I'm quite relishing that one.
Get it out of the way, huh?
Well, there is that way of looking at it. But at the same time, I got vague memories of the Lion Girls version, so I should like the track. But whether I will or whether I don't.
You're only 9 points off the top 8. So it's definitely possible. Especially as Paris said he's going to be missing this meeting. There's points to catch up there.
No,
You've got Craig and Capesy and Dreadlock ahead of you. But you can't see many of the top 8 dropping many points. Bobby's holidays maybe might hamper him. He's got another one coming up. But no, it's going to be interesting. That heat one's going to be a real. I mean, we all know that it doesn't make any difference. Stefan could scrape through in the semi-finals, into semi-finals on 8 points and go and win it.
Yeah, I'd probably apart from one, I'd probably go.
Oh, Bobby, well done, mate.
Heat 8 might be another one to pick up. That could be quite interesting.
Well, Bobby did say that there's no bad heat. It's been a really entertaining series.
Yes.
We're just waiting for Hadlington's first heat win.
Or his first last. One or the other.
Yeah, no, I think he'd rather have a heat win. I've not actually looked at the track yet. Looked at an image of it. It's one of those indoor tracks with a narrow straight.
Yeah.
So I don't know if anyone's had a go around it yet. Yes, Apple, yeah. Anyone's had a go at it. Hopefully it'll be to my liking. We'll see what we've got in the FCS draw. Can we do the FCS draw now?
Yeah.
Right, and he's coming up. And we've got Big Slow Caney riding at number 1. Answers the teammate. Now at reserve.
Sorry about that, chaps.
Oh, hello, welcome back.
I don't know what
We
happened there.
were just saying you were due a heat win in the GPs.
Yeah, just a bit. I haven't had one this season.
We'll celebrate when you do.
But I've also not had the last place for 11 races.
No, that was mentioned as well, don't worry. Tank didn't mention that.
So we got a couple there, Big Slow Caney, Shulio and Ben Thompson. The first 3 in this one. And number 4 will be Hutty 83. So a decent first heat there. 4 different teams in that one.
Yeah, Julio's comfortable in the top 11, looking for a few more
And
points.
we have
Level on points with me.
the recent Warriors acquisition, Mr. Pompey, at number 5.
He's only won one round so far.
Yeah, he has actually, and this is round 5, I believe. And we have Westy Boy there, who is in for Bewitcher in this round, who has stood down from the series.
Westy Boy looking at a top 11 finish. He's currently level on points with Hutty on 11th place.
Yeah, doing very well in the Ramses Road so far, as Mackinnon takes number 7.
Yeah, top of the table by 12 points. We'll be looking for double figures at least.
And he will be joined in Heat 2 by Wolfie, who again is having a
quite comfortable. He's
comfortable.
on 31 points. He's 5th in the table at the moment. That's 5 points behind Caney.
Not too bad for Mr. Wolf, as
And won the last round.
Yeah, and won the last round with the lowest points total that we've ever seen. Mr. Fax goes at number 9, and Shads, you're at number 10, mate.
Oh, lovely. I don't know what that means, but hey ho.
Number 10, and you. And number 11 will be your old mate and wild card for this round, Mr. Lango.
Oh, interesting. Interesting.
I'm sure you'll be looking forward to that one.
Very much so.
And what's the bet in this is Heppel. If this was Heppel, this would be a treat for you. It's Hobnob.
Oh, that's still a treat.
Mr. Hobnob himself, number 12. So Frax, Shads, Lango, and Hobnob in heat number 3. As the last 4, number 13 will be Cam. And this is going to be a decent heat as well to start with. We're going to have Cam, Cappy, Heppel, and Le Sorcier. And Heppel goes at number 14. With Cappy and Le Sorcier remaining. And it will be Cappy, it will be number 15. So number 16 will be Le Sorcier of the Cowboys. Just spin the wheel to confirm that one. Number 16 there. So we'll have a quick look at the race card for the SES next Sunday. And just having a quick look there, see if any of the heats really stand out. Your last one there, Shads, heat number 17 for me. Big Slow Caney, Wolfie, Cappy, and yourself.
Yeah, Caney's
That's a tough
really
one.
missed the last round. He was, I think he was second in the table before the last meeting, but he missed the round, and Cappy's gonna have to take advantage here if he wants to finish in the top 3. Bewitch is not riding anymore, so his points are going to stay the same. It's up to everyone else below to start scoring some points. They want to qualify or finish in the top 3.
Yeah.
Top 3 going to the GP for next season. I think Mackin and Cappy look a few to qualify for that. I think it's anyone's after that. Could make a case for any of the next 5 or 6 really.
Definitely that third place is definitely up for grabs.
No one's going to want to miss a round now.
Yeah, points will be vital business end now of the season. And just seeing Ben saying he'll be happy for a point in heat 7. Lango, Cappy, Mackinnon and Ben Thompson. Wow, that's going to be a tough old heat there. With the top 2, and then obviously the wild card and Ben himself in that one. Oh, Cappy!
Cappy!
And congratulations, by the way, Cappy.
Yes,
as well.
Well done.
Congratulations, and we hope it all. I want to be on the phone. Oh dear.
Get your priorities right, Cappy.
I hope your missus isn't watching this. That's all I'll say. Oh dear. I'm not too sure what the best gates are on this track. Don't know really that much about it. As I said before, the last meeting I could find was season 5. We had a couple. Lango actually rode in that meeting back in season 5 and scored 6 points. So, apart from there was Stefan and Rico also, and Stephen 101 was in that meeting, but looks a tight old little track to me from the picture I saw earlier. So, just have a little look at the latest table. As we can see, Mackinnon and Cappy, the top 2. So Mackinac actually got a 26-point gap to fourth to Big Slow Caney. So unless something disastrous happens, then I believe Mackinac will be a GP rider next season as well. But Shads, I'll bring you in because you're in this meeting, obviously. Who would you say has got the best shot at the third place at the moment?
I'm not sure about Kaney's availability on Sundays. I'm going to go purely because I've watched him last few weeks and form's been pretty good, pretty consistent. I think Wolfie's going to sneak into that top three.
He's my
tip. He seems to be pretty consistent this season, and he's been riding a lot more than what he has been in other seasons as well. So I think purely because of the availability and the fact that his form's been pretty good since the first round. Anyway, I think I'm going to go for.
And he's riding for the Wolves, maybe as well. But obviously he missed one round as well, so he's averaging just over 10 points a round. So if he continues to do that, then he'll take some catching for that third spot. Obviously, we don't know about Caney at the moment, as you said.
He's definitely the most consistent out of that sort of like chasing pack, like with Ben and Hobnob and me. I think Julio's a bit too far behind to get into the top three. So I think Wolfie, if he can ride in the last three meetings, I think, like you said, if he can get at least double figures in each one, I think Wolfie will be joining Cappy and Mackinnon.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, but I can't see Mackinnon not finishing there in the top. Well, it's top two, obviously. Cappy as well, really. That he's got a 14-point gap there to Caney. Obviously, Biwicha remains on 44. I think for a lot of people, they'll be trying to overtake that in their last three rounds and just get more than 44. So we'll see what happens in the SCS next Sunday as we go on to the final part of the show, which will be the league previews for next week. And we start off with a blockbuster clash between third versus second. The Hyde Spartans versus the Hackney Norse at Sunday at 8:30. So obviously both teams having a very good win last week. Shads, what do you make of this one?
Can't really call this. If the North practices well, I think they've got enough strength in depth to maybe just grab the points here.
Yeah, I think obviously we know how good Hackney are at home, but they have won a match and picked up a few points away from home as well. But I think the Spartans very, very solid throughout as well. Obviously, I know Rossi still needs to ride probably two or three, I think another 3 matches out the last 5 possibly. He's
been riding well lately. So
if they go with their top 6, or maybe Rossi ends up at number 2 still, and he keeps that form going, I think that'll be a bit of a trump card for the Spartans, to be honest. You're going to bring in Tank, if we may, as well. Tank, what are your views on the second versus third clash?
It could be tight, but I do see Spartans probably winning this one on the basis that Norse, whilst they're very good at home, their away form seems to be a bit iffy. They could run them close, but I think Spartans will have too much at home. Could come down to around about 9-10 points. So that's definitely in the Spartans' hands when it's me.
Yeah, I think.
Can I just say that the last time Hackney North Road at Hyde Road, I scored a maximum.
Oh, go on there, get in there. Which
It
was obviously last season.
Little bit of a different Hackney team.
Yeah, well, yeah, definitely. Obviously the Spartans and not the Storm as well.
Yeah, we were better.
So I'd love to see that actually, Spartans versus the Storm. That'd be a good one round hard, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I fancy us to beat them there.
But I think it's going to be a close one. Obviously, as you said, we're hoping to stream this one. I think the Cowboys, they'll be hoping. Will they be hoping for a Spartans win, or all the points? But I think if Norse can nick a point here, I think they'll be very, very happy with that. But for me, I'm going to go for a Spartans win. I think just probably I'll go 8 points just so Norse maybe just miss out on getting something here. But that is the first match of next week. With the second one, as we move on, will also be on Sunday. But this one will be at 9 o'clock. And it will be the league leaders, the Paul Cowboys, taking on the Birmingham Wolves. The Cowboys obviously didn't. Oh, sorry, they did race last week. Obviously, got a away win at the Panthers, and the Wolves suffered a home defeat. Stephen, if we can start off with this one with you, what do you make of the Wolves' chances in this one?
They'll be fired up to obviously do better than they did last week and hopefully make amends, but it's going to be tough against Cowboys. At home, they're a match for anyone, but as long as you get Sizzler and Ads obviously putting in the shift they can, and Wolfie keeping his form going, then it could be interesting. It might even, if it does come close, it might end up being the bottom end that could decide which way it goes, but it depends on form. So I'll go for a Cowboys win just about if everyone's on form.
So that is Tank going for a home win, as Bobby has actually posted his team in the chat there. Obviously Rico, as we know, has been away. He was with a GP, and I think maybe watched the GP challenge as well today, but he's been golfing a lot, I know, as well. I've noticed from his Facebook posts. So, Shads, do you reckon the Cowboys will win this one?
Cowboys will win this quite easily. I think you're looking at maybe 16 points, maybe 14, 16 points. I don't think the Wolves are going to trouble them.
Interesting one. As a Sizzler there in chat says Cowboys by 30. Not much practice this week due to work and being on the pop all day tomorrow. So, make of that what you will. But if the captain's not confident, then I'm not too sure the rest of the guys will be. I mean, if just lack of practice, then so obviously some of the guys will know the line more than others. JC, obviously, we know he's from Poole. He'll be wanting to do well in this one and do better than his last score this week. For me, I think obviously we know the Cowboys team there without Rico. They're going to be tough to beat on their home track. So I'm not going to go as many as the other guys, but I'm probably going to go for a 10, 12 point victory here for Cowboys. I think Wolves can probably keep it closer than most at Poole. It's a bit racier track, so. And as Bobby said, they haven't raced at home since the 18th of August. So that could also be a factor. As we move on to the final match of the week, which will be the Newcastle Piemen versus the Voyage Warriors. This is obviously my team against Tank's team. So, based on that one, I'll bring the person in who isn't in the meeting, which is Shads. Shads, what do you make of this one?
It's going to be a Warriors win and Heppel to score maximum. No.
Don't tell you
Scrub
things like that.
No. Piemen win. Craig will probably be the only rider to beat to win a heat. Piemen by about 20 points, maybe more.
Interesting. Obviously, I know a little bit more about the. Obviously, we haven't got Bewitcher there, number one. We did go with the other 6 of us last week, which didn't go quite so well away from home. Obviously, if that happens this week at home, we'll shall have to wait and see. But Tank, what's the mood like in the Warriors camp? Are you confident going into this one?
Yeah, we're confident going into it. We obviously with the recent signing of Pompey, we should be able to mount a bit more of a challenge and more solid throughout the team. So yeah, we're pretty confident we can obviously do better than we have done. And with my server now being back, we can actually train properly for this one. So it should make it an interesting.
If anyone turns up.
They will.
As you can see, obviously, Pompey did come into the team and he slots in to that number 4, the 4th position in the team, which for me, it's the one. I mean, if they have the top 6 ride in there, the Warriors, that Cam, or even if they don't, Cam would be number 2 or number 6. I mean, for me, he's a rider who, in that position, should be scoring for fun, to be honest. I mean, Heppel as well. Obviously, he'd be what he did last week, and he'll be willing to continue that. And obviously, being a Geordie boy as well, he'll be wanting to score well at Newcastle. But we'll just have to see how it goes. I think it'll be closer than what people think, to be honest, given the strength. I know Alan's still got involved with a few meetings as well, obviously. So it's going to be a tough one, I think. Be closer than what people think. I'm not going to give a prediction because I don't know what's going on with the team at the moment. But apart from that, it's on Thursday, 8:30, and that is our final match of. No, Heppel is just in chat before we leave. Can we get the opinions on the ruling in Heat 9? That sees the change of the result from the Panthers v Cows. Also,
that was the one where Super disconnected for the race side, wasn't it?
So obviously I wasn't in that meeting, so I only know off what Shads has told me earlier. I believe it was Super Dip disconnecting, and then they run the race, and it was a 4-2, and he got reran, and it was a 3-3, I believe. Is that right?
Yeah. I think it's pretty clear that if a rider disconnects before the race starts, he misses the 2 minutes, and you bring the reserve in. I don't think there's
disconnected before
there wasn't any argument on our part. It was pretty clear that that a reserve could be brought in and the race rerun. So there's no drama really. I think it's if it's not in the rules, it should be, but it's pretty much common sense really.
Yeah, I think that is obviously. I know from being obviously a former captain as well as Tank that there is something in the rules about a reserve coming in if you miss the 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So to me, the right thing was done based on what I know. If it is a 4-2 and it doesn't get changed, and it's 1 point difference, it's not going to make too much difference there. I mean,
nah. It wouldn't have affected the result. It wouldn't have affected the score. I think we were already 8 points down at the time anyway. So no, fair play. It was a genuine disconnect, and it wasn't no funny business going on. It wasn't. There's nothing. I think he had a problem with his laptop. So no, there's no issue there. A reserve was brought in, which is fair enough.
Yeah, Bobby there in chat saying it's getting changed, as they shouldn't have used a reserve sub, as it counts as disconnect on the start line. So it will be a 4-2 for the Panthers in that one. I mean, I don't know what the rule is on the start line when you disconnect. I think if you just get disconnected,
so Heppel's win is taken away then.
Possibly, yeah. I mean, I don't.
Someone disconnects on the line, but they're actually in the race. They've got until the end of lap 1, and if they've not moved by then the race is stopped and the rider is excluded. There was a rule that was meant to be put in the rule book, which appears to have not been, by the looks of it, where if you disconnected when the track was loading up, then you was excluded. Now, nothing has been burned or anything like that. I'm not even going to say that it has or give any sort of it's going this way, it's going that way. But obviously, it's a difficult one. If it, I get both sides of it. I do. And it's whether we treat it the same way as we have the other illegal uses that have happened this season, or we let it go because it's not in the rules. So that will be confirmed in the days, hopefully.
Oh, there you go. You heard it from Tank himself there. Obviously, the rules. I don't want to talk about rules after this week. Because obviously, I did have a little bit to say after the Parliament match, but we won't go there because obviously people have heard enough of that one. But there will be rules, obviously. If a rule's a rule, it should be adhered to, I guess. Just one of those. These things happen, unfortunately, so we move on and carry on for the next meeting. But apart from that, Shads or Tank, you got anything else you want to bring up this week?
I'm just glad that Heppel's happy now that we've got him on the chat, got him on the pod.
Yeah.
And hopefully that's the end of it for the season now. unless he scores a maximum.
He scores a maximum. Oh dear. Well, obviously, we will be letting you know what's happening in a couple of weeks on Friday. I'm not sure what date that was. Shads did tell me earlier, and I've totally forgot on about the Berwick end of season.
Yeah, the 18th. I think it's Friday's time.
The 18th, where I think Dan will still be missing as well due to work. So we will obviously be looking for a guest presenter, possibly for that week, alongside myself and Tank. So don't all shout at once to come on.
Yeah,
Heppel looks like he could be the man for the job, and also Capesy. We haven't had Capesy on for a while, I believe, as well. So, oh dear, Squall. Yeah, we'll leave that one. So apart from that, good luck to everybody racing next week in the league, and we'll say a good night to Mr. Shads.
Good night, all.
And also to our producer, Mr. Tank.
Good night.
And it's a good night from me, and we'll catch you same time, same place next week. Take care.